Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here's what's happening. First, a 21-year-old man was shot and killed while leaving a recording studio in Queens early Monday morning.
This is at least the third deadly studio shooting so far this year. Now, from the scene, we can tell you the bullets were clearly flying, but police are not saying much about a possible motive. What is clear is that a 21-year-old man is dead and his killer is still on the loose. The scene outside the warehouse building with the recording studio inside was very busy all day, with crime scene detectives collecting evidence. The NYPD says around 1:25 Monday morning, a 21-year-old man was shot in the head and killed outside. I spoke with this longtime resident who told me she moved her bedroom away from the street because of her fear of getting hit by a stray bullet.
I just heard 3 shots. That's the only thing I heard.
Well, were you shocked? Because you're on the ground, you're on the street level.
I know, but I sleep in the back. That's why I changed my room over there. I have my room over here, and I changed it to the back because that problem.
This shooting comes the same day the mayor and police officials announced shootings have been declining the last 7 or 8 weeks. Mayor Adams says police are doing their job, making record numbers of arrests. But the rest of the system must do its part, keeping repeat offenders off the streets. Residents here were disturbed by what happened.
We were just coming out of the subway and we heard like 6 straight shots, like boom, 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 boom.
Now, police are still in the process of notifying the victim's family, so they haven't officially released the name, although it is out there in some areas. But what we can tell you is they're looking for information. If you have any, they'd like you to call 1-800-577-TIPS.
A 15-year-old girl sitting at her dining room table was hit by a bullet when shots were fired outside of her Queens home.
Neighbors tell me that 15-year-old girl was studying inside her home when shots rang outside. Now, one of those shots entered the home and hit her. Police have not made any arrests at this time. A bullet hole riddle door shows where shots pierced a home in St. Albans, Queens. Investigators say a 15-year-old girl was sitting inside the dining room when gunshots were fired outside. One of the bullets went through the window and hit the teen in the shin. Police say she was not the target. The father of the 15-year-old girl says his daughter is recovering and is in good spirits.
Right now, she's very good condition. She has one bullet on the right side leg.
The shooting happened along 113th Street at around 11:15 Tuesday night.
We heard it's like a sound like tut, 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 tut. It's like a fireworks. We thought this is a firework. So after some time later, a lot of police car coming, and then I open the door and I see that my neighbor, I know that guy.
Home surveillance video from a neighbor captures the police response. Sirens are heard as first responders rush to the scene. The teenage girl was taken to the hospital. Police believe that someone on the street was shooting at another person outside, adding that the house was not intentionally targeted.
It's very sad. I mean, I've seen them quite a few times riding bicycle. That's all. And they're very friendly. They would say hi, hello, very mannerly kids.
Tiffany Kalu lives nearby and has a baby girl and nephew. She says she's lucky it wasn't her home, but feels for the family.
It could be one of us, any one of us in the neighborhood. So we just don't know what's going to be another outcome. We just hope gun violence stops.
And when we look at New York City crime stats, shootings are down compared to this same time last year. But a lot of neighbors tell me they are still on edge following this shooting.
A Bronx man was arrested for a brazen daytime attack. Theodore Ellis is accused of shoving a woman onto the train tracks at an outdoor subway station in the Bronx.
Despite the arrest of the subway shoving suspect, residents here tell us they are not letting down their guard. They have a sense that anything can happen anytime, anywhere, and it's keeping them on edge. It's also having an impact on the mayor's approval rating, which dipped to 29%.
It's very scary. You got to be safe. Everywhere you go, you have to just look behind your back, look everywhere you're going.
This shocking surveillance video shows the terrifying moment late Sunday afternoon at the Jackson Avenue-Westchester Avenue elevated station. You can see a man grab a 52-year-old woman from behind and throw her onto the tracks. It happened very fast and appeared to be unprovoked. The victim was rescued and suffered a broken collarbone and cuts. It's the latest incident to make riders, even men, wary.
You got to look over your shoulders now. You know, it's unfortunate that happened to her. You know, like I said again, it's sad.
The incident comes as a new Siena College poll found that 70% of New Yorkers feel less safe today than before the pandemic. 76% of those polled say they are very or somewhat concerned about becoming a victim of crime. A rash this year of random, unprovoked attacks is creating a climate of fear and unease, acknowledged by the mayor.
We're going to turn around this city in crime. I know that. And New Yorkers are going to start not only being safe, they're going to feel safe. So right now, they are of the belief, based on what they're seeing, based on what they're reading, based on what they're hearing, it's going to reach the results that we're going to have to make New Yorkers safe.
As with everything, New Yorkers will want to see it before they believe it. This grandmother, a lifelong Bronx resident, couldn't wait and moved out of the city.
I get scared. I take this train with my 3 grandkids every day, coming and going, so it frightens me. And I lived in this neighborhood for a long time. I had to leave because it's getting scary out here.
The shoving suspect, 30-year-old Theodore Ellis, has been charged with reckless endangerment and assault. Now, we have seen some police officers on patrol since we've been here all this afternoon, but they left, and riders seemed appreciative, but they realize that the police cannot be everywhere.
A 61-year-old man who was sucker punched in the head and knocked unconscious while walking dies 5 days later.
Police have released new video of the 2 men they say sucker punched a man in Brooklyn, which then led to his death 5 days later. It shows the men walking on Lexington Avenue. This is in the Bed-Stuyvesant section. Back on May 25th, one of the suspects then suddenly sucker punches 61-year-old Victor Vega in the face, causing him to fall and hit his head on the street. Police say the 2 suspects, who you can see on your screen there, then robbed that man and took off. Vega, the victim, was taken to an area hospital where he died 5 days later. If you recognize these suspects, maybe the clothes that they're wearing, anything to identify these individuals, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-800-577-TIPS.
Police are on the hunt for an armed mob who attacked a 14-year-old boy in Brooklyn Bridge Park.
The search is on for a group of people police say robbed a 14-year-old at gunpoint in Brooklyn, as a crowd actually stood around filming it with their cell phones. Investigators say it happened at Brooklyn Bridge Park, Pier 2 in Brooklyn Heights on Saturday evening. Police say the victim was punched and pushed while they held a gun to the teenager's head. Police say the thugs took off with the victim's cell phone, sneakers, hat, debit card, ID cards. Do you recognize these guys? If you do, please call Crime Stoppers.
And finally, an MTA bus driver was hospitalized in stable condition after being stabbed in the stomach.
Police say this happened early this morning at the intersection of Ocean and Flatbush Avenues. The suspect tried to get on the bus using the rear doors to avoid paying the fare. The suspect and the driver got into a fight before the suspect stabbed the driver in the stomach and also above the eye. The driver was taken to the hospital in stable condition.
That's this week's Crime in the City.